More than 5,000 West Africans are given temporary protection in the U.S. at the height of the 2014 Ebola outbreak in West Africa, and they may have to leave the country by May as their temporary status is set to expire. In 2014, the U.S. granted citizens of Guinea, Liberia and Sierra Leone temporary protected status known as TPS, allowing people from those countries who were already living in the U.S. to stay for up to 18 months. It also gave them permission to work. TVC News correspondent Detola Ademola reports.
3 years ago, when Ebola ravaged some West African countries, many escaped to the United States for safety. Now that the World Health Organization has announced that Liberia, Guinea and Sierra Leone are free of the virus, citizens of those countries who are still in America under a special protective immigration status want permission to stay longer. But at a town hall meeting organized by Sierra Leonean Embassy in Silver Spring, Maryland, Ambassador Bukari Stevens could not guarantee that a temporary protective status granted under President Obama and which expires in May would be extended by the Trump administration.
The TPS originates from a law which was enacted by the United States government, and it is within their rights. What we can do and what we are thinking of doing is to write another letter. We as West African ambassadors will write another letter asking for extension. But in the current political climate, I don't think it will even take off the ground.
Bukari advised them to pursue other immigration options before the temporary protective status expires.
They can still reapply. All they can do is to reapply, and they will tell them whether they get it or not. They can still reapply. That is not something where the embassy has a role. All the embassy can do is to appeal to the authorities to give an extension. As for individuals who actually had to make their own applications, it's up to them to do it.
So say you're married to a U.S. citizen. Say you are engaged to a U.S. citizen. Say you have a child who's 21 years old, or you're a child of a parent who is a U.S. citizen. You can adjust your status. You can file for that ASAP in order to adjust your status to be a permanent resident without being required to leave the country.
This forum also provided an opportunity to discuss how President Trump's immigration policies could negatively affect African immigrants currently in the U.S., especially now that the number of deportations has increased.
This deportation formed the main crux of our discussion of what we should do as embassies and as a group, as ECOWAS ambassadors, because we are all affected. Nigeria alone, they have over 500 that has been deported. Guinea, I think, is about 50. Liberia, about 60. And there is a lot of them that are billed to be deported. But for us as Sierra Leoneans, we owe it to our people for us to sit down and discuss and see how we can be able to minimize the situation.
More than 11,000 Africans, many of whom were health workers, died of Ebola. President Trump's stringent immigration policies have caused many to doubt that the temporary immigration status they currently enjoy would be extended before it expires. Detola Ademola, TVC News, Silver Spring, Maryland.